Testing, 1, 2, 3. I just thought this would be a good time to introduce myself. So I'm lead architect at London University, building large-scale applications to support students and staff. After that, when I come home, I'm a dad. Anyway, what is Maverick Next Gen about? What is my vision? There are 3 elements that I find important to Maverick Next Gen, and that's 1, creativity, 2, technology, and thirdly is leadership. Now, why are these important to me? Well, for me, I want to be able to leave a legacy, to my kids, but also to teach the future generation about skills to do with these 3 things: creativity, technology, and leadership. Because I think the next generation, if you can provide skills that will empower them to use this in aggregate, they can achieve amazing things. And that kind of generation where you have entrepreneurs of kids who are tech savvy and also creative. And part of Maverick Next Gen is that leadership aspect, challenging the status quo. But with leadership, there's a very important skill of communication and being able to influence people. That, my friends, is where the gold is. So I'm not out of university. I've been working for coming up to, is it 20 years now? And I come late to the YouTube game. If I wanted it overnight, that just won't happen. Now, the reason why this is so good for me is because I can teach you guys how to speed up and get better quicker. The reason why I say that is because I love to learn. I am a person who loves to self-develop themselves. And what would you know? My first book that really, said, Chris, there's got to be a better way of doing work-life balance and getting money in. And guess what? I'm late to the game. I found this book by Tim Ferris, of all people, The 4-Hour Workweek. What an epiphany that was. Let's read it. Escape the 9 to 5, live anywhere, and join the new rich. Wow. And then, there's this guy on the graphic here who's between 2 palm trees, just chilling. I mean, how cool is that? So, reading the book, there's some really good points that I picked up. By experimenting, he can extract himself from his business and let the business earn the income. And actually, only have to do 4 hours. 4 hours a week, apparently, just to keep it running. The key things that I picked up, there's a Pareto Principle, Pareto Law, and that's where you have 20% of your input provides 80% of the outcomes. So, for example, he uses the case that 80% of his profits came from 20% of his customers. So if you think about it logically, you should focus the majority of your effort on 20 customers. And this rule is apparent everywhere where you are in life. So you just look around, you have to consider that. So for me, as an architect, I spend a lot of time strategizing and thinking, but actually where I should put the effort in, the inputs, is we always have to put in some documentation which is needed. If I create those templates, that's where 80% of the outcome will occur. So if I focus on that templates, my job would be so much easier, which is what I'm doing. And these kind of patterns or principles that other people have found and worked out, this is the kind of leadership and skills set that I think I can bring to the table to the future generation, because this is the sort of stuff that you learn when you're trying to move things forward quickly but smart. Now, with the creativity side, as I mentioned, Remarkable 2 is where I like to go to, because it combines the technology and creativity, the writing and the ideas, which is a whole all-in-one package. So, my channel isn't just technology, isn't just about the remarkable. It's about creativity, being able to learn new skills, self-develop yourself, But also, if you include that with technology and leadership, you're off to the races. Now, being able to teach people that is an art form in itself and a skill. And this is where my YouTube channel, Maverick Next Gen, that's what it's about, and that's my vision. Ultimately, I want to be able to leave a legacy for my kids so that they go, hey, Daddy, that is amazing. I want to be part of it. But the cool thing is, just to let you in, a shout out to Matthew and William, hey sons. They have a gaming channel called Tsunami Gamers. Check it out if you can. They see what I'm doing, and they're like, oh, I want to know how to do all this YouTube stuff. So I'm teaching them how to create content, edit it, create the thumbnail. So hopefully, they'll overtake me. They'll do really well, and they'll create a passive income stream for themselves in the future. This is the journey that I'm on. What are some of the tips that I can tell you? The Pareto Principle sticks. It holds fast. You need to invest your time wisely, especially if you've got kids and you have to put them to bed around 8. So that means you don't have much time. And the important thing is to think about stuff before you do it, like plan it, think about what is taking the time and get really good at it. One good person, there's so many good YouTubers out there. Ali Abdaal, shout out to you. His videos are great, and he talks about the system. You can stack your cards. So there's several ways of getting subscribers or doing well in YouTube. And one of the ways to accelerate your growth is by stacking your cards, which basically means either putting a lot of effort into learning skills to deliver YouTube videos really quickly, smoothly. And the other thing is, Ali talks about unfair advantages now. My unfair advantages is that, well, I've got a degree from Cambridge, and that puts me in a good setup. That kind of thinking and broad knowledge base puts me in a specific niche with this YouTube endeavor that I'm doing in the journey. That means I can quickly learn skills and apply them. The difficulty for me is being able to edit the content really quickly. And when your family comes first, that means you have to reprioritize how you're going to go and achieve your vision, your objective. And this is again where this Pareto Principle comes into play. You should really step back, and this is what I've been trying to do, is step back and think smartly what you need to do. Ali talks about building systems, or a system. Okay? And systems are important because it's almost habitual in nature. Once you have a system and it works flawlessly or seamlessly, the habit just kicks in and it just keeps going. It's almost on automation. Now this is one of the principles that Tim Ferris talks about, automation. His deal principle, let's have a look. There you go. Can you see that? So DEAL stands for definition, elimination, automation, and liberation. So liberation is the final step, which is where I want to be. Everyone wants to be there. But automation is fundamental, because here's a little tip. So I use a video editing software suite called DaVinci Resolve. Now, as an example, so I used to just use the cut blade functionality to cut things. The smart move, the 80-20, so the 20% that I put in would be to learn the shortcuts for DaVinci Resolve to get maximum of the 80% output. So investing time thinking ahead, the best thing to do is to pause, step back, think about the hard stuff, and essentially get a system around it and automate it. So I've been playing around with that, and so that's the top tip. So the other top tip is it's okay to procrastinate. So one of my role models is, again, another role model is Adam Grant. Adam Grant wrote a book called The Originals, and in it, his main theme is it's okay to procrastinate, because essentially people who have got original ideas will procrastinate because they need to get more information in to consider a better alternative or solution. So there is a fine line, obviously, between procrastinating and just not doing it and being lazy. But generally, people with original thinking leave it longer until they've got the right qualities in hand so that they can deliver the best solution possible. So that's another tip. You can procrastinate, and sometimes this is something that's interesting what Ali Abdaal says. He goes, it doesn't matter about the content, just get it out there. And I think that's a good point, but if you want to stack your cards, and he did say this, if you want to get further quicker, you have to put more effort in to stacking your cards, which means learning. So getting those videos out in that case isn't your objective. So my tip for you guys is that so tip number 3, be realistic with your time. Don't say that you're going to deliver 1 video a day, because you're not going to be able to do that unless you don't care about the quality. Let's put it that way. And we all know that there is a certain degree of quality that you need in a YouTube video for people to actually go, oh yeah, content's really good. And what I've done here, though you may not know it, is I've actually kind of penned down some structure there. So coming back to Tim Ferris's book, you know, the lifestyle design of the new rich is the nirvana. But I think you have to have a vision. And my vision is creativity, technology, and leadership, which all adds up to leaving a legacy for my kids. But at the same time, you know, hopefully I'll build up a course, a content good enough to put on, I know, some monetization stream. But equally, I'm going to enjoy this journey with my kids. They've got their own YouTube channel. I'm teaching the skills. I'm learning the skills. I'm enhancing my skills as I do this video editing. But also, this is exactly why I'm doing this channel. Is to give them the skills so that I leave a legacy and they have that creativity, the technology skills and leadership skills. I'm looking really forward to it, guys, and I'm glad that you guys are on this journey with me. I will not always be going on about this Remarkable 2, because that's just, for me, like a hub of creativity, but I'll be testing other things like how to use different technologies, green screen, you know, things like that, just to take it a bit further in my creativity. And it's just going to only get better. So watch this space, subscribe to my channel, click on the notifications, and I've got so much more. Peace. Hey, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the content, please hit the like and subscribe button, and look at my channel for more exclusive videos.